Alright, so if you were to explain Kendo to an absolute beginner like me, how would you explain it?
Kendo is the modern adaptation of Kenjutsu, so the art of the samurai. Ken means sword, jutsu meaning technique.
So, like with ninjas.
Ninjas and samurai were very different.
Yeah, they didn't seem to like each other very much.
It was actually a feud. Ninjas had no honour whatsoever, and the samurai disagreed with that a lot. They were bound by their code of honour.
So, like, samurai were like the hired, like, hitmen type thing in Japan?
Similar, but not quite. Ninja were more used for assassinations, kidnapping. Right. Samurai served their lord or their shogun.
Yeah.
Whatever their shogun told them to do, whatever their master told them to do, they would do.
I thought, like, in Japan, like, things kind of revolve around honour.
Depending.
Like, I know more about Chinese martial arts, but it just seems like the Japanese are very much about their honour, very much about serving their emperor, and very much just like, I don't know, they seem to be more into that. Yeah.
Honour bound is definitely the way things are there, even now. If you have been dishonoured, you're essentially dead to your family.
So how does honour, like, if you're a ninja, like, how do you have any kind of honour?
You have the honour of your art.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Like being good at it and stuff like that, and not being caught.
A certain ninja, so clans, would belong to a certain family. They'd be dedicated to protecting types of family.
Yeah.
Not unlike samurai in that regard, but still very different in the way they would handle things.
Yeah.
Those ninja would have honour, but they would be disgraced in the sense that the way they would fight had no honour. There was no code as such. So
I take it that someone couldn't be like a ninja by night and a samurai by day, because I knew that ninjas, like, they weren't, like, their identity wasn't known, you wouldn't know they were a ninja.
It's possible but highly unlikely.
Just because the two are so different.
A samurai lives and dies by his honour. A ninja moves more in the shadows. It's possible, but highly unlikely that the two would be the same.
So I've got a question, like, you know how, I'm not sure if this is just like Hollywood type impressions of katanas in Japanese culture, but from what I heard, they believe that the soul lives in the sword. Like, does that mean that you only have one sword, or what happens with that?
You can have more than one sword, but there will always be your sword.
There will just be the one.
Yes.
Have you met the one?
I have met the one. You always name your sword. So, my sword is Kobra Sutaraki, which is Cobra Strike.
Right.
You name your sword, and your sword is an extension of yourself. It is part of you, it is part of your art. So, you name your sword. I named my sword because Cobra Strike was a technique that I struggled with for a long time.
Right, so you wanted to, like, I don't know.
My weakness became my strength.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to say.
Yeah, sorry.
My ums. Well, you said it better, it's fine. Just like, if you want to chip in when I'm struggling, I'm fine with that. Okay, so, like, what about Kendo? Like, what are the different aspects of Kendo? Because I know nothing.
Right. Two aspects of Kendo, okay? I'm not going to use the big fancy terms, we're going to break it down.
Okay, break it down.
Okay, right. Two forms of Kendo, to put it as basically as possible. Mm-hmm. The art of Kendo itself. So that's with the bokkens, that's learning control, learning how to hit, learning your posture. Mm-hmm. Then there's the second half, and that's the art of drawing the blade and cutting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen, they're usually a big straw.
Yeah, and they take it out and cut it into.
So you draw it, you cut, you sheath.
Yeah,
and it's all about form and technique.
I watched a documentary that said that they used to do it with, like, dead bodies or living ones.
That was a darker time. You could do it with those. I wouldn't recommend it.
Do you think, like, if you were doing it with, say, like an animal, like a pig or something like that, do you think that would still be, like, a dead one? Would that be acceptable?
Not really. the bone structure and the flesh structure of an animal is different to that of a person.
Right, so it wouldn't be getting like the true experience.
They used dead or live bodies to get used to it.
Right.
Samurai were used in wars, and if you've gone and you don't know how much strength it takes to take a clean cut of
So
someone's
when
head.
using the straw people, like is that the kind of density of a person? Like the strength they needed to cut through it?
Yeah, it's about the basic height. You mostly go for the neck. You mostly decapitate. So it's about the same durability as a human neck.
Right.
Macabre, but it's effective.
So are there any other aspects I need to know about?
It is an art, so while I don't like admitting it, part of it is looking very pretty.
Right.
We're very specific about your uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be perfect. The knot in your belt has to be 3 inches. No more, no less, exactly. Everything has to be exact. It's all about disciplining the body and mind. Everything has to be perfection.
It sounds a little bit like my army experience, like you'd have to have your boots polished a certain kind of sheen, like if you couldn't like almost see yourself in them, that they weren't polished enough, and you had to have like the bottom of your trousers tucked in a certain way so they didn't look baggy. You had to have your shirt tucked into your like trousers the right way, you had to have your belt done the right way, and you had to have, like if you're a girl, you had to have your hair the right way as well. You had to have it all boot back so you were kind of, I don't know, ambiguous gender.
The same thing has to happen with us. It's all very ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rather fond of the armour though.
Yeah.
You have your ceremonial armour, which can be intricate and beautiful. Red, phoenixes, everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful, but only really used for ceremonies, not very practical for field combats. And you have your basic armour for everything else.
So that's basically like the same as army stuff. If they're out showing themselves off, then they're not going to be wearing stuff they could fight in. Okay. So how would you take a beginner and teach them Kendo?
First off, we'd have to see how fit they were physically.
Alright. So there'd be a difference if they were physically fit and physically strong and knew their body compared to if they weren't as good with it.
And there'd be a big difference. You're a rather fit person, so if you...
Thank you.
We'd start off with a correctly weighted bokken.
Alright, and what's a bokken?
Bokken is the equivalent of a katana. It's
Right.
a wooden version. It's weighted and built the exact same way.
Right, so bokken is a wooden katana.